Nnamdi Kanu exploit the judiciary. Predict what happens if he refuses to enter defense tomorrow. Yes, so my people, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu don't come, in fact, on this very day to, in fact, say his mind, predict what he thinks the court will come up or bring up as judgment should he refuse to enter his defense tomorrow. What do you think is going to be the judgment of the court tomorrow? A lot of people have started talking. Some said Nnamdi Kanu will be given a death sentence. Some said life sentence. Some said the case will be dismissed. According to Omoyele Sowore, anyway, that was last week. He said that the IPOB leader might be given a death sentence. That is the plan of the Nigerian government. That in fact, they are praying that Nnamdi Kanu should not even enter his defense. That is according to Omoyele Sowore. Yes, now waiting Sowore talk. But before then, I'll be taking you into this very small piece that will give you a little enlightenment of what likely will be happening tomorrow and what likely we should be expecting tomorrow. Yes, according to the information, it stated that Nnamdi Kanu address centered on the jurisdiction foundation of the case. His submission was that the entire trial is void ab initio because it rests on a repealed law, namely the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, TPAA 2013, which ceased to have legal existence following the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, TPPA 2022. Now, he argued that jurisdiction is the lifeblood of adjudication, not a procedural formality. Citing the Supreme Court in Midukalu, Nkemdili, 1962, yes, SCNLR 341, which held that a court is competent only when the case comes before it under a valid subsisting law. Yes, before coming to the analysis of this document, I would like you to pay attention to this little fact because according to the information, the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu really proved himself innocent of what he was alleged by Justice Omotosho. That was on the 5th of November. Now, see what was said here according to the Constitution. Listen to this. Don't go anywhere, and please make sure you share this very video.
Victory and also lead to the striking out of the case. And I quote, "The repeal of an enactment shall not revive anything not in force or existing at the time when the repeal takes effect." It further proves that unless the new law expressly saves pending matters on rights created under the old law, those rights and proceedings die with the repealed law. Clear. So, if a person is being prosecuted under a repealed law, and the new law does not clearly say that the old cases shall continue, then the court loses jurisdiction to continue with the trial. That's exactly what Nnamdi Kanu is talking about, jurisdiction, striking out the case, and there is no law that is providing, and that is backing the prosecution. So I want to make you to understand that Nnamdi Kanu is not just making noise, he is quoting verbatim points that the court know, and that is why they were silent when he raised that point. Let's go on. What is the repeal law? The repeal law was the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. This was an amendment to the original Terrorism Prevention Act 2011, and it won. 11. This law did the following. It defined terrorism as an act of terrorism in Nigeria. It also empowered the Attorney General of the Federation to approve terrorism charges. Also, it granted the DSS and other agencies powers to arrest, detain, and investigate suspects. It established procedures for freezing assets, blocking accounts, and prosecuting terror-related offenses. It was under this act that the federal government of Nigeria charged Nnamdi Kanu alleging terrorism-related offenses such as belonging to an unlawful group, treasonable statements, and operating a radio station allegedly promoting separatism. This 2013 law was the foundation. Listen very carefully. This law was the foundation of this entire trial. Clear. Now, what is the new law? Let us juxtapose it with the new law. What is the new law? The new law is the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. Remember, the first one was Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, which is TPAA. Now, this one is Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, TPPA. Now, in 2022, Nigeria's National Assembly repealed both the 2011 and 2013 acts and enacted this new law, which is the TPAA 2022. So you heard it, it repealed that law of 2013 and replaced it with a new one of 2022. Now, Section 62 of the 2022 Act states clearly that the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 and the Terrorism Prevention Act Amendment 2013 are hereby repealed. You get that? Are hereby repealed. That means they no longer exist in law. What changed in the 2022 Act? What changed? What is in this Act that is different from what was in the former one? Let's go on. The new Act reorganized the entire terrorism framework. It created a National Counter-Terrorism Center. It expanded definitions of terrorism financing. Do you understand? It changed prosecutorial procedures. It transferred key powers from the Attorney General to the Office of the National Security Advisor. It set up new penalties, processes, and jurisdictional rules. Crucially, the 2022 Act did not include a saving clause. Now, listen here because I want you to understand this saving clause. But that is where the whole catch is. Meaning that it did not say that ongoing cases under the old law would continue as if the old law still existed. Follow me. Take it easy. Follow me. That omission is what Nnamdi Kanu's argument stands upon. Let's go on. Now, what is the legal effect? What happens when a law is repealed without a saving clause? Listen, let's go. The rule of law is simple. If an act is repealed without saving provisions of that act, then any prosecution, judgment, or proceeding depending on that act dies automatically. The courts have consistently upheld this. For instance, in Waifo versus Attorney General of Bendel State, 1982, 7 NC 124, the Supreme Court held that when a law is repealed, it is as if it had never existed, unless the repealing law preserves rights, liabilities, or proceedings. So, if the new Terrorism Act of 2022 does not save old cases, then the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, which was instituted under the repealed 2013 Act, is legally null and void.
So you cannot see that, my dear listeners. You cannot see that the law Nigerian government is relying on and focusing on and believing on is the law that already has been, wiped off. Is the law that has already been, dismissed. How can you be making reference to a law that you people have already done away with, using it as against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when you know that this law already has been, removed and replaced? Why are they not working with the new law? Because they have seen that the new law has nothing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that is what Nnamdi Kanu was actually focusing on. That made him to say he has no case against with Nigerian government. You see that? So just Somoto Show on its own, because of the politics you want to play, have to go back to the old law. A law that they have already abolished, a law that they have already cut away from. Focusing on the new law. My dear people, you cannot see the politics that this federal government are playing. That is just the problem. So that is what will likely make Nnamdi Kanu to still maintain his decision. But my fear is this. If Nnamdi Kanu still maintain that very decision of not entering the defense, Nigeria is a kind of country that one cannot predict what his decision may be, because Nigerian, I'm sorry to say it, Nigerian is behaving like a country with no proper regulation. We are not properly regulated in this country. Yes, and that is why anyone can disobey the law and go scot-free. Yes, the law in Nigeria is not respected. I'm telling you. Yes, they say that nobody's above the law. It's a lie. People are above the law. Look at the people going against the law at the upper class. What have they done to them? My people have been going to share this video, make everybody get a clip and copy of it, because we can't bear this. Even me myself, enough is enough. Thank you.